Okay, welcome back, everyone. This is the third try. Last week, when I wanted to do the day 4 and day 5 of Debt Education Week, I was sick. So now I'm feeling better, and I tried to go live at noon, and my computer just turned off in the middle of my live. So here we go. We're going to try this again. And I'm going to check a few things here and make sure I'm using StreamYard. So if you want to have a comment, please go ahead and go to StreamYard and register. It doesn't cost anything. And I just want to make sure that it's showing up live in my Facebook page before I get going. And I'm using StreamYard because I want to be able to share my screen with you, which I can't do in my Facebook page. So let me look here real quick. Thanks for your patience. Okay, it looks like it's working. So we have been talking about debt education all last week. We started on Tuesday. It was supposed to go through Saturday. And like I said, I got sick the last 2 days just with a cold, so I'm feeling better. But mainly we talked about, I shared a video I had done on YouTube with you so that you could understand about your money coming into your account each paycheck and having to use a lot of it on this side for bills and interest on those bills instead of using it on the side where you can invest or save the money and earn interest. So that's why it's so important to pay down your debt, because you want the money to go to the savings side and multiply with compounding interest. On day 2, we talked about how debt is a roadblock to your wealth. Day 3, we talked about controlling emotional spending, because when we decide that we want to buy something and we don't have the money to buy it, and we use credit, a credit card, a store card, which is also a credit card, by the way, and we buy things, then that is buying things on credit, which incurs more debt, which means more monthly payments and more interest to take away from your savings. So if you can get your emotional spending under control, this is, my boyfriend broke up with me, I'm going to go shop, I'm mad, I deserve this, poor me. Or maybe you come into some money and you go and blow a bunch of it shopping and not sit down and decide what you should really do with it. Maybe it's spending like it's the Super Bowl and we have to get the best TV because my friends are coming over kind of thing. Or, just all that stuff. And it's both men and women. So it's really good to get that under control, because if you create a plan to pay off your debt and then you just keep incurring more debt, you're not really getting anywhere. Day 4, we talked about, which is what today is, we're going to talk about totaling up your debt and creating a plan to pay it off. And then also we're going to talk about day 5 today, which is showing my debt elimination strategy that I use with my money confidence coaching clients, and show you exactly how they have been able to create a plan, pay extra towards their debt, and get it paid off in usually 9 years or less, including their mortgage. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm going to show you how to do it. And then if you have any questions afterwards, you can ask me and I'll show you. So I'm going to share my screen here so you can see. Why is that not working? Oh, here we go. My first time, so you have to give me some patience here. This is a slideshow that I did on creating a plan to pay off your debt. And we talked about debt being an obstacle, and how, first of all, your money mindset affects income and spending. We also talked about that this week, and that might have been day 1 instead of day 2, how what you were taught growing up or not taught growing up, what you gleaned from people, maybe your parents were fighting, or they pinched pennies and never let you do anything fun, or maybe they just spent extravagantly and then you were, paying for it later. All that affects your money, your income, your ability to earn income or more income, and your spending habits. So there is a way to change that, and that's what I coach my clients in. But we talked about that. So here's the first step. To create your debt elimination plan is to total up your debt. And so I want you to take a spreadsheet, a piece of paper, however you want to do this, and I want you to list each of your debts. And pretty much every debt you have, you should be able to go online, create an account, and see what your totals are. So I want you to list who the debtor is, who the person is that you owe money to. Maybe that's a credit card company, your mortgage company, auto loans, student loans, parent school loans. Maybe you owe an individual money. List who the person is that you owe money to. It lists the total amount that you owe them. And then I want you to list the payment you make every month, the minimum payment, and the interest rate. And then I want you to total the first two, or the second and third column. The one about the total amount you owe, I want you to add that all up and make a grand total. And then I want you to add up all the monthly payments and make a grand total. And that might just like blow your mind, but it's very important to make sure that you realize how much you owe. Like it could be a very large number. For most people it is. So I want you to make sure that you understand how much you owe so you can create that plan to pay it off. Because if you really don't know, how are you going to know, right? And here you can see is a nice little debt calculator. I'll go back to just sharing the screen. Calculator.net/debt consolidation/calculator. So that's a great little website you can go to. You can put in all those debts we just talked about, and it's going to help you figure out how many years, if you just made the minimum payments and did not incur any new debt, how many years or months it would take you to pay that off. And it's going to show you how much interest you're going to spend too. So that's a great way to get started. Next is to track your money and create a budget. Now, I know this doesn't sound fun and people think budget is a 4-letter word, but if you don't know, again, how much money is coming in every month and how much you're spending on things, how much your bills cost, how much you're paying in debt, you can't know if there's any extra money to pay off your debt. Because the only way to pay off your debt in a faster way is to be able to spend more, to pay more than a minimum, at least on one of them, each month to get ahead. That's the only way you're going to get ahead. So by creating a budget, you can do that. So first you want to keep track of your income and spending for 1 to 2 months. If you want to get like mint.com, you can link it to both your checking and savings and whatever accounts you have and see exactly what it'll calculate all that for you. You can also use paper or a spreadsheet. And then this is the basis of your budget. Then you want to create a budget. So you want to list all of your income at the top, how much of money is coming in. So maybe you get paid 2 or 3 times a month, or maybe just once a month. List that at the top, your total income, add that up for you and your spouse if you have one. And then list below it all the things that are coming out, which would be subtractions. And then where are you at? Like, I don't want you to budget this. Now I want you to be honest. And I want you to put the actual numbers because you need to see where you're at. And so is there money left over at the end of the month? Are you putting money away for investments? So that's where we need to start with, like creating that budget and seeing where you're at. Next, we're going to create that debt payoff plan. Now that you have a good picture of what you're spending, what you make, where all your money is going, you're ready to create that plan. But first, how much extra money do you have in your budget? This is after allotting for money, for groceries, clothing, school fees, lessons, sports, going out, all that stuff. Now, maybe you can make some adjustments in that spending. Maybe you're like, oh my gosh, we're spending $1,200 a month at Starbucks. That's out of the question, We need to cut that in half. So there's an extra $600 right there. Maybe you could cut back on going out to eat and buy groceries more, which would be a lot less. So say you have an extra $500 a month that isn't really all allocated to something. I recommend that you spend 80 to 90% of that $500 towards your debt payoff. That way you have a little fudge room in case something comes up that you weren't expecting. But before you create that debt payoff plan, which we talked about using that link, I want to make sure you have a savings emergency fund set up. Now, emergency fund is if for something breaks down, you have the money to pay for it. You have cash in a savings account. You're not going to use a credit card. So say your water heater breaks, your air conditioner, your car, something on your car breaks down. You get in an accident, you need that deductible, or your roof gets hailed on and you need a deductible. I want you to have money put aside to cover that so you don't have to use your credit card because you don't want to incur more debt, right? We're trying to pay it off. So the very first thing you want to do with that extra money, that $450, is you're going to build a $1,000 emergency savings fund and use that money every month, or maybe you can sell something. Maybe you have something in the garage you never use, you can sell. Try to get $1,000 to $2,000 in your emergency savings fund before you start the debt elimination plan. That's key. Once that's built up, hold on here. Once you have the savings in place, I want you to start paying that extra $450 towards one of your debts. So I think you should list them in smallest to largest number that you owe, like amount you owe. So maybe it's a credit card, you owe $5,000. Every month you're going to make the minimum payment plus $450. And that link that I showed you will help you figure this all out. But you're going to make that payment until you pay off that credit card. You're not going to charge anything to that credit card. In fact, I recommend cutting it up. Once that credit card is paid off, do not close the account. Leave it open, because if you close the account, that's going to affect your credit rating, credit score. Once you pay that off, say your minimum payment was $50 a month and you were paying $450 on top of it, so you were paying $500. Then when that's paid off, you take the next smallest debt. Maybe that payment is $80 a month. You're going to add $500 to that every month, and you're going to pay that until that one's paid off. So on and so forth. This is the snowball effect. If you receive any extra money, you get an inheritance, you get another stimulus check, you get a refund for something you weren't expecting. Maybe you win a bet, which I don't recommend betting. But anyway, if you have any found money, I want you to put 90% of that towards that debt that we're talking about, whichever one is the smallest one at the time. I don't want you to go and blow it and buy a new TV, or, you could put probably some of it in savings, but our goal here is to pay off the debt. So the faster you can do that, the faster this is going to go. So take that inheritance, take that check, that found money, and put it towards your debt. And like we talked, do not accumulate more new debt. This is key if you want to pay this off, because you don't want to go backwards. You don't want to go buy a better car. You don't want to go buy a new TV and finance it, or a dishwasher. And because if your dishwasher breaks down, guess what? You have money in your emergency fund to buy a new dishwasher. And you don't need the latest one that does all the fancy stuff if you don't have enough money in your savings. And by the way, if you use your emergency fund, then you stop your debt payoff plan and you refund the emergency fund before you continue. So that's always important, that if you use the emergency fund, half of it, all of it, a fourth of it, you get that refunded back to $1,000 or $2,000 before you go on with your debt elimination plan. And it's really good to have an accountability partner to help you stay on track with all of this. And then reward yourself as you do stuff that's good. After you pay off each one of your debts, reward yourself. Go do something fun, go out, get ice cream, maybe go somewhere, take a day trip with the family. Don't go buy something on credit though. And then just know that as you continue to pay down this debt, it improves your mood, it keeps you motivated. You make a good impression on others in your family or your kids. It helps you not to buy on credit in the future. And you can start planning what you will do with the extra money once it's all paid off. Look, we're already talking $50 payment from the first debt and $80 from the second. That's $130 extra you're going to have a month once this is over. And once you pay off all that debt, just look at that total column, that grand total for monthly payments, and that's how much extra you're going to have every month. Isn't that going to be amazing? So So now, let me know if you have any questions. Post in the comments, or you're welcome to send me a direct message, or my email address is wealthandwomen@gmail.com, and my website is wealthandwomen.net. And I would love to answer your questions. Schedule a call with me. We can talk about your debt personally, or I can show you any of these presentations privately, and we can discuss and help you understand it better. I'd be glad to do that. So next, I'm going to share my next presentation, which is our debt elimination plan that I help all my clients use. Oops. Where did it go? Hold on. There we go. Okay, so our presentation, that I'm a life insurance provider, and this is how I help my clients pay off their debt really, really quickly. And I'm going to share that with you today. Again, at the end, it can get a little bit complicated, but I just want you to understand that I'm here to answer any questions, to help you and make it more understandable. And we can run your personal numbers. All you have to do is fill out this little data sheet that I can send to you, and we can figure out, first of all, showing you how long it would take to pay off your debt if you just made minimum payments and didn't incur any more. And usually it's over 30 years to pay things off. It's crazy. And how much interest you would pay. The whole reason you want to get out of debt is so you don't have to pay all that interest. It's usually 1/2 to 1.5 times of the purchase amount that you're paying in interest. And we want to save you that money and put it towards you're making interest in savings instead. So here's a little bit about me. So the question we like to ask our clients is, are you 100% sure you're going to have a great retirement, or do you have some doubt? And some of you might be thinking, oh, that's a long time away. I don't have to worry about retirement yet. But it's really important to understand it, educate yourself about retirement, and know that there's lots of help out there to help you create a plan so when you retire, you don't have any debt that you have to pay for from your retirement funds, including your house, and you're able to go do all the things you want to do and live the life that you want to, and include inflation. Obviously, things are going to cost more once we retire, so we include all that in your plan. What if I could show you how to get out of debt in 9 years or less, including your mortgage, without spending any additional money than you are spending right now? Sounds pretty great, huh? That sounds like a perfect plan. 9 years instead of 30 to 40 years is really awesome. And all that time you could be saving money. So what we like to help our families and individuals and businesses with is to argue less about money, because there's not that debt that's causing that argument, right? There's not that lack of funds each month. We help you find wasted money that maybe you could be using in a different way to pay towards your debt. Improve your cash flow, increase your savings, get out of debt faster than you ever thought possible, learn how to prioritize your accounts, and retire with tax-favored income. Now, doesn't that sound pretty amazing? Yes, this product can help you with all of that. So the average American household is spending 34% of their income in interest and 40% in taxes. That is a lot, right? That is a lot of money that we earn, that we go to work every day, 5 days a week. We spend time away from our family. We might not enjoy what we're doing just to get that paycheck, and then 75% of it is going somewhere else. That is not the American dream. With Your Family Bank approach, which is our company, I'll explain about what that means in a minute, we can reduce that to where you've got more money for your lifestyle, more money towards savings, and less towards interest and taxes. And that sounds amazing to me. So I have a business proposal for you. Let's go into business together, okay? And you front all the money to start the business. You take all the risk, and you manage the business every day. And 30 years from now, I'll tell you how much you owe me. Does that sound like a good business deal? No, it does not. Nobody would go into that kind of business. But what am I talking about? What am I explaining here? I'm explaining an IRA or a 401k, sorry. A 401k is you putting in all the money. Now, you might have a company that matches that, but that's not a guaranteed money, and you're going to have to pay taxes on it. You take all the risk because most of the time, the companies that are handling your investments with your 401k don't have many options of where to put the money and aren't managing it like on a daily basis, making sure that it's not at risk. And then 30 years from now, whenever you get ready to retire, the part about owing somebody, you're going to owe taxes. Like 30% of that money that you've been saving in your 401k, when you take it out, you're going to have to pay taxes on it. So you might be excited thinking, I have $1 million in my 401k, but 30,000 of that's going to taxes, so you really don't have that much. Here are some things you have to worry about with your money in the market. Taxes, market fluctuations, like losing your money, because the market drops. Inflation, maybe your investments aren't keeping up with inflation. You have an emergency, you don't have access to that money until you're 59 and a half, and then you're just going to pay taxes on it. Disability, so if you had a disability or you needed it for something emergency, again, you're not going to have access to that money. If you were in a lawsuit, they could take some of your 401k. It's not protected from that. You could outlive your money, right? You could live longer than what the money is there to pay for retirement. And then you could die and not get to use all the money. What if I could teach you how to reduce the volume of interest you are paying to lenders, get out of debt in 9 years or less? That's pretty awesome. Improve your cash flow, decrease taxes, save for college, and retire with tax-favored income. Who would be on board with that? Did you know that at age 65, the average American earns $2 million in their lifetime? That's how much income they earn by the time they're age 65. But they only have $60,000 saved for retirement. Now, obviously, I don't know about you, but $60,000 would last me maybe 1 year of retirement. So does that mean I never get to retire because I don't have any money put away? And do you actually know how much money and what you're going to need to retire on? That's not the American dream. We want you to retire and live your life to the fullest and be debt-free. And holy moly, 2 million is right. Pretty crazy. So how we help people is we ask them to fill out a form that gives us all of their spending and income so we can see where they're at, right? And that's why I talked about at the beginning about having a form where it shows us where you're at, and then we put it into our amazing software, which first of all is going to show you how long it's going to take and how much interest it's going to cost you to pay all your debt off if you only make minimum payments. And then we show you with our program how much you're going to save in time and interest. Just skip that one. So the reason it's called Your Family Bank is because we want you to keep your money instead of putting it in the bank. Because the bank is a business. They are making money on you. And so we're trying to teach you how to create your own family bank so that you have access to it whenever you want. It's earning you interest that's building on itself and compounding. You're not going to get in trouble for taking it out early like you would a 401k or any other retirement investment. And let me show you how the bank is a business. We all grow up, your parents take you to the bank, you have the same banker for most of your life, at least that's the way it was when I was growing up. But let's say you go to the bank and you put $10,000, you deposit $10,000, and they're like, oh, that's awesome. They give you a smile, lollipop and dog treat at the drive up, and maybe 0.4% interest right now. It's not even 1%. That's crazy. And then you go like I said, the bank may give you 1% interest. Then you walk into the bank the next day and you borrow $10,000 from them and you say, I need to buy a car, I need $10,000. What are they going to charge you? Are they going to charge you 4% like they're giving you for your money? No, these are all the different amounts that they could possibly charge you in interest. And that is not the American dream either, right? Why are you putting $10,000 in that bank and barely making any money on it? They're, like I said, 0.4% interest, even from a high yield, which is about 0.5% right now. But when you go and borrow money, they're charging you all kinds of interest, and they're using everyone's deposits in the bank to make loans and make money on your money. So we want to teach you how to make your own bank so that you're not paying the physical bank all that interest. You can access your money whenever you want. So let's look at a typical family. Mark and Joyce, age 37, 35. They want to retire when they're 65. Here's both of their monthly income, and they want to have, say, $5,000 when they retire a month. 3 kids. They don't have any college savings yet. And here's some of their main interests, because not everybody's the same, right? Some people don't need to save for college. They don't have kids. Some people already have some savings, so that's not important for them. These are their areas of interest, and we can help you no matter what your areas are. So right now, we ask them for their information. This is what they're giving back to us. For savings and investments, they've got a Bank of America. Their emergency fund has $6,000 in it. Way to go. They're putting $25 a month in there. They're earning 0.25%. And this money we could use to pay off towards debt. They have a Fidelity 401k for the total in there right now is $36,500. They're putting $300 a month away and they're earning 5% interest. And then we're talking about, they list all their debts for us. This is kind of like what I told you at the beginning of how to add up your debt. So they've listed who they owe the money to, the interest rate, how much they owe totally with a grand total, and their monthly payment with a grand total. So you can see that totals $180,000 that they owe, and they're paying $2,177 a month. So if we take the $180,000, they're actually going to pay $380,000 when you add the interest to the $180,000. So that's almost $200,000 in interest that they're going to pay. That's if they only make minimum payments and don't incur any more debt. 30 years it's going to take them with $199,000 in interest. So their current retirement plan has $36,500 in it with $300 monthly contributions. So at retirement, they're going to have $408,890 in there. That's pretty awesome. But when you take out taxes, it's cut by a fourth. So now all that time they were saving and earning interest, they're still paying taxes on that. So it's going to only be $306,668. So we can help them become free from lenders in 7.8 years instead of 30, save this much in interest, $122,000, and free up that monthly total of payments for retirement or savings or whatever they want to do with it. And over 30 years, that comes up to $1 million they would have. So here kind of shows the difference there. So, of course, who wouldn't want to use your family bank, right? What does it cost not to use your family bank? Well, this is how much we're saying you'll have in retirement. This is how much you're going to save in interest, minus the current retirement that they have right now. So it's a benefit of $820,000. And again, I know sometimes this can seem complicated. This is just an initial presentation. So if you have more questions, I'd be glad to explain it in more detail. I know sometimes we don't want to ask questions when everybody else is watching, but feel free to if you're so inclined. I would love to answer your questions. So most people would see this and immediately make a decision to be like Mark and Joyce and go ahead and use this program. So here's kind of what we do, the plan we made for Mark and Joyce. So as you can see, it has their name up here. This is all fictional information, by the way. Illustrated out to age 67. And by looking at all their spending and what they're putting away for retirement and savings, we help to help them redirect some of their money, maybe spend a little less on groceries, maybe get a better rate for your car or home insurance. All those things added up to where Mark and Joyce could afford $625 a month extra towards their debt. So that's pretty awesome, right? And this shows their debt over the 30 years, how much it would cost them. So they've listed them in order of what they owe the most on. So here's the current balances, just like we did in the other spreadsheet. Here's the monthly payment. Here's their interest, how much interest they're getting charged every month. So just this one Visa card that they only owe $460 on, if they made, sorry, I'm confused by this. Okay, so it's saying this one in 0.7 of a year, so a little less than 7 months. Oh, okay, I see what this is saying. Current debt. This is their current debt. So if they only made the minimum payments, again, it would take them 30 years, and they're going to spend $380,157, just like we showed earlier. But with our, yeah, this is the same thing. Total number of years 30. Their total debt 180. The total interest paid 199 comes up to this much. So you can see how expensive it is to just make the minimum payment and to keep incurring and buying things on debt. With your family bank, we're going to pay it off in 7.8 years. And this is exactly what our reports look like, and save you $122,000 plus in interest. And then this is the little report we give you to show you how to pay it off. So for the Visa, it's going to take 0.17 of a year, so just a couple months, 2 payments of the $625. We're going to take the monthly payment at $55, make the minimum payment on all of these, plus add $625 to that. So in 2 months, he's going to have this first Visa paid off, which had a total of $460. Then we're going to take the $55 a month plus the $625 and add it to the next one. So this one payment was $200 a month, but they're going to pay $825 a month towards that one. It's going to take half a year. So just another few more months after the first one's paid off to pay that one off. Woohoo! Pretty awesome, huh? And it just keeps snowballing like that. You just take the payment. So we would take these 2 payments plus $625, start adding them to the Discover card. That's not even going to take a year. So you can see within a year, we've already got the first 3 debts paid off. And then another couple months after that, we'll have the furniture paid off and then the auto paid off. And then it's just going to take 7.8 years to pay off the mortgage. And that is because we are using the 6.25%, or sorry, $625 into the product. It earns 4% rate guaranteed. And that just keeps compounding and compounding in this program. So it's a whole life insurance policy. And what's awesome is that it gives you a death benefit at the same time. And like I said, you're still making the minimum payments every month, but then you're adding that $625 premium to that. And it's building up in here. Once it gets to a certain point, it says, okay, now it's time to take the money out and pay off that debt. And then it tells you the next time it's time to take the money out and pay off a debt. So you can see in comparison here, 30 years to 7.8, obviously that's a big, huge win. Interest paid, basically cut in half. And then you have, over time, the saving, liquidity, and death benefit. I'm going to show you that here, which is kind of complicated. And again, this is more for a one-on-one conversation, and I hope you can see this okay. I don't think I can zoom in here, but yeah, so in the first 2 years, you've got all the debt paid off, and then by year 8, or a little less than that, you've got the mortgage paid off. And the whole time it's building up a cash value. And here's your death benefit. And it has a 24% of whatever the death benefit is from day one. It has 24% long-term care policy in the policy. So if something happened, not only would you have a death benefit, but also a long-term care in the policy. And then cash builds up over time, and you can take that money out and use it for a wedding, a down payment on a house, an emergency, a trip, put the kids through college. It's a great program to start for your kids when they're young instead of a 529 policy or plan, because you have access to this money and it's your kids' and there's no taxes on it because it's a life insurance policy. It's protected from lawsuits. You don't have to pay taxes when you take the money out. It's really an amazing program that I love to help my clients with. And I'm going to stop sharing now. So I hope that made sense. I hope you are excited as I am about paying off your debt in less time for just a little extra every month. And we can run the program. You decide how much you want to pay extra a month. It's not up to us. We can give you some ideas and help you come up with some different things to try out to come up with some extra money. But you are the one that decides how much extra you can pay, and also how much, sorry, just lost my train of thought. Sorry, I've had a cold and I'm just like, anyway, you decide how much you want your premium payment to be every month to pay down that debt, and the program just keeps continuing. And if something comes up like a pandemic where you lose your job and you need to take a break for a little bit, we can adjust that, and we can use money inside there that's in the savings to pay the premium. If you incur another debt, say you add a car or something, we can just add that to the program and it'll recalculate. It's really amazing. And we've helped lots and lots of clients to pay off their debt in less than 9 years, to be debt-free finally, and to, have that extra income that they can put towards investments, that they can put towards savings. And then they don't need to incur more debt because they have the money there to pay for stuff in cash. And then when you retire, you're debt-free and you don't have to earn your hard-earned 401k money, IRA, whatever you use, annuities, to pay for your house payment or your car payment or your student loan. Obviously, you don't want to get to that point in your life, right? We all want to retire debt-free. So if you have 10 years or less, definitely reach out and we can talk. It's free to talk and bring up the plan and see how it would work for you. There's no cost for that. And if you have more than 10 years until you're going to retire, don't wait, because paying off debt and starting to invest and save now will make the biggest difference and give you that peace of mind that you're all wishing that you had. So to conclude, if you would like to talk to me more, you can go to either my Instagram. I have a link in my bio to schedule a call with me, or you can go to my website, wealthandwomen.net, and there's also a place to schedule a call with me. Send me an email at wealthandwomen@gmail.com. And debt is I'm so passionate about it, and paying it off and getting people on track to do the right thing, to save money instead of spend it on interest, to incur interest instead of spending it, on debt, and to start buying things with cash instead of putting them on a credit card. And again, like I said, as you pay each of those things off, don't close your account. I mean, student loans, any kind of loan you have, they're going to close that account. But keep your credit card accounts open. Just cut up the credit card, or maybe save one, just in case. You might think you need a card, but I would encourage you not to. And then just to wrap up Debt Elimination Week, thanks for being here and watching this whole time. I'm so glad you participated. I know a lot of you, when you asked to join our Facebook group, you list that student loans or mortgage or debt is one of your main issues that you wish I could wave a magic wand and get rid of. Well, ladies, here's the magic wand. I can help you get rid of it. I can coach you and train you on not incurring more debt. I can help you get your money on track. For those of you that don't know, I offer bookkeeping services, either for business or personal or both. I offer group coaching. I'm going to start an online course that'll be coming soon. And also, I'm going to have a live event for women. I think I'm going to call it Community Coaching and Confidence for Women. And we're going to have a life coach there and a divorce coach and myself as a money coach. And we're going to get you set to get on track and be the best person you can be. And I just want to help all of you and educate all of you. So please reach out anytime. Let me know if I can help you. I'm here for you. I know some of you don't want to talk about money or you're ignoring it, but I don't want you to do that anymore. So take charge of your money, ladies. I'm signing off. Have a great day, and I hope to hear from you soon.